mentors, our members, and all the distinguished banking leaders joining us today for this very timely discussion. And to guide us through this complex landscape, we could not have asked for a
The subject, which we've thought about discussing today, and also, enabling us to understand or be a part of. So, two, three things which I have described, saying that hypothetical, immersive, a 3D environment. And the kind of agenda that we are trying to look at is to understand what metaverse is and what matters for banking vis-a-vis the metaverse. And some use cases I will keep on discussing with side by side. Whereas the immersive world or a 3D world, which is known as metaverse, which is again hypothetical, does not really have those limitations around. Right? Having said this, let us understand, few terminologies. While it is said it is a 3D world, so what we are saying it is a three-dimensional thing. Say from 2020 onwards, it has been used for the gaming purposes. So in case if I have to give you two examples, the examples called decentral and also example of Roblox. It's a basically a 3D virtual world. It's based on the platform. Right? So primarily in this world, the cryptocurrency is being used to buy and sell things. And the platform, it allows the user to play games created by themselves. So it becomes a site where you are in a position to create, enjoy. So this becomes a pillar for this metaverse and is being used extensively because they play a unique role in creating. So I will keep on explaining all these terminologies, but apt is to understand here that there is a new, this is nothing but an immersive world, and it is known as virtual reality. Now, these are nothing but distributed digital ledgers or decentralized digital ledgers. Now, this, blockchain is the backbone of any activity today in the virtual world. Here, while I say that, the definition allows or ensures the transparency, the ownership, and security of the digital assets and transactions. The use that you would see, if I say tokenized digital land, it would mean that a person or an entity can buy or lease the virtual real estate in platforms like the sandbox or the decentral land that we've discussed. So this is another aspect which is happening. So blockchain becomes a virtual vital element to understand the metaverse in times to come. The third aspect that I've written is with regard to the artificial intelligence or personalization or automation, which has been energized or powered by the artificial intelligence within the metaverse. Here you would see that, the AI-powered avatars are nothing but the virtual banking agents or virtual agents that talk. Here, if you see, it's a decentralized internet built on blockchain to allow the control of these personal information or the data or the identity. Whereas in our world, which is the Web 2.0 world, we will have to now to a bank's, metaverse portal in case if somebody will have to log in. Whereas in Web 3.0, the smart contracts are going to take over. So they're going to be self-executing and they would not require any manual intervention. But Web 3.0 there is a self-sovereign identity. Right? If you look at the integrated example of banking, that is the Gen Z customer makes a purchase of a virtual property token stored on a blockchain. So if you see that all four technologies, extended reality, the blockchain, the AI, and Web 3.0, they work together to create a seamless, immersive, and secure financial experience. It basically allows the user's presence, ownership, and interaction. This is the way the world is changing today. The use case is, and each staff member is an avatar in a simulated bank environment where they are made to learn about things as you would do in a physical training. The metaverse, user can own the digital assets as we've explained at the beginning, and which is done in a 3D model, and it is linked to a Web3 world, a wallet. So when Web3 wallet is used, It would mean that the, the control of sharing the information is that with the. So if you see this, the kind of examples for the industry is a bank launches a VR-based financial literacy game. Second aspect is with regard to wealth management in virtual reality. So here the advantage is, if we see with regard to the features and what it means to the people at large and how does it actually help the bank. So the presence basically is avatar-based, immersive, and it creates virtual branch visits, and it also helps the trained people or the employees to be trained. Here, the third-party people or wealth advisory or gamification or literacy sessions that we're talking about. It has been started, finance, education, and social interactions. Now, how exactly are they being done? So let us understand. Now, these allow the players to create, socialize in virtual world, and you can, basically participate in banking and investing experiences here. The next aspect which I can explain here is nothing but the digital investment showrooms, where you launch a VR-based portfolio. So even the digital showrooms can be created by the banks on this, where they can showcase their abilities. Now, this showcasing will be involving, engrossing, can't just be one simple way of reading through the papers or the content which you put on web, but it is now being used appropriately or going to be used appropriately in the metaphysical world. One bank has already started doing a digital Gramin Sabha on the financial planning with the avatars of villagers, bank officials, and facilitators in the virtual world. Immersive cinema, virtual meetups. So these are few new things which are happening. With regard to economy, socially, the virtual weddings are being today created. The financial literacy drives are being created. The town halls are being created on this. And for banking, the virtual branches, the KYC onboarding, or digital asset lending are few use cases that comes to my mind as of today. If we have to look at why the metaverse is today going ahead for banking, the current the BFSI challenges with the young customers is that bank feel outdated to digital savvy youth and gamified finance, which is not available with the banks. And we've been struggling to hold them their area of interest in long-term saving or insurance awareness or the responsible credit behavior. So here we can bring about all these changes that we expect. The gamification can be used by the bank into various different activities. Activation makes banks look tech forward, youth relevant, and inclusive. Right. So bank can host the virtual music concert, one example, where or an e-sport events where they can sponsor their youth debit cards or credit cards or their saving accounts, or can shore up whatever the loan products. My only take in this is that in case if we delay our presence in metaverse, we may lose the young generation completely to fintechs and the Web3 native solutions. And this is going to be the next evolution in digital trust and youth engagement.
Friends, thank you, Soni sir, for giving me the opportunity of talking to the attendees for 5 minutes. And on 13th of July, we have a session on analysis of RBI Financial Stability Report. The session will be taken by Shri Sunil Soni, who is taking today's session also. Early bird discount on that. Those who book earlier, they get a better discount.
Looking at to complement the user presence and ownership interactions, it supports the youth and digital first engagement. As we've seen, they have the gaming kind of an environment or an environment which is virtual, and they think it is like a Zoom meeting, and where the gaming meets the banking. So that is the kind of support that we can provide to youth today who are digital first, engage them into our kind of activities. So this combines this entire activity. This combines innovation with inclusion, which is the basic mantra today. It ties up with the UPI Aadhaar Digital India goals, and it matches the expectations of the tech native users, and also reduces the cost per customer. So it's a win-win situation for the banks. Now everybody talks about the personalization or a personalized experience. For a personalized financial experience in metaverse, they represent a major leap forward in banks in India, which enables them to engage with customers with tailor-made or tailored, immersive, and data-driven services. So maybe this could be a game changer again for providing a personalized financial experience, and bank can show a what if scenario and then can bring about a change in the investment mindset of the people at large. So you can now in real time customize the risk profile the customers. You can offer the region specific products, subsidies, loans, etc. And you can look at the language and culture specific avatars also for a general acceptance of the people at large. What we're saying is that it is going to be a trust building through immersive education. So here what we are saying is that integration of the tokenized assets and NFTs into the metaverse, uh, where we can evolve on the financial services in line with the digital assets innovation. This is the way you increase or you bring about the interest of people into investments, and it also brings about the financial inclusion because it reaches out to the people at large, either for education or for onboarding. This also, metaverse, when combined with tokenized assets and the immersive financial experience, is the time for us to innovate ourselves and be a little more relevant to more than 50% of the population, which is today not really happy to come to the bank branches and would prefer to have a virtual uh, interaction more than the physical interaction. Now, here we are talking with regard to the positioning of a future-ready bank. So what they're saying is that we are not just a bank, we're a platform of new experiences. This is the way they express themselves. But they're also giving new kind of experiences to remain financially viable. Similarly, if you see Axis and SBI, they are in the metaverse signals, and their alignment with the future banking trends is being seen by the Gen Z very closely. So here the customers, they associate with the bank for fun, innovation, and being proactive, proactive financial education, and not only for transactions. So we are talking with regard to creating experiences which are memorable, and we get into an innovative partnerships with the fintechs, the new banks, or the edtechs, or the gaming firms. Because if you just see this, Union Bank of Philippines have become a global case study for launching its Web3 or Metaverse branch, and it is a milestone achievement. But today, people can look at creating the NFT. The banks can think of creating NFTs becomes a little more convenient for the customers, relevant for the bank, and can also bring more transparency into the transactions. The places where the bankers should look at is the virtual job fairs where they should be, the hackathons where they are actually being raised and brought about, the startup conferences where they can bring about these sort of immersive experiences, and then they can look at becoming the leaders and not just the providers. So the benefits here, what we see is the tech-forward, agile, youth-relevant banks. So another direction. So instead of going into the ads, today they can explain themselves better on these virtual worlds. So the KYC also, the assurances or the onboarding also can be changed with the introduction of this metaverse KYC for the Indian banks. That becomes the part of our overall ecosystem, and it brings about an immersive financial planning that it gives the ability, the metaverse gives the ability to the banks to finance dreams, not just properties, securely, inclusively, and interactively. So here, the virtual wealth consultation makes finance human, visible, and empowering, leveraging the digital infrastructure. So Aadhaar and the UPI will have to get engaged with this. It expands the inclusion to the rural and semi-urban segments. So places where the branches are not there, not feasible, the virtual branches can bring about inclusion. The brand positioning for Gen Z and millennials becomes more relevant here because they are trying to engage and open their attention. Tokenization becomes the new norm, and it can, and in a long term, more than 3 years, what I see is a fully immersive, decentralized banking layer. Collaboration is the mantra where we need to look at the fintechs to be part of this journey and to become part of effective adoption by the banks.
through which to view its very real implications for the banking sector. And I'm certain that this has sparked a great deal of thought.
And given the requirements, uh, I think it is very essential that these services should be used as much as possible. But at the same time, the other side of it, which I would request the audience, that what is happening, that although banking industry has brought in so many products and services, that's not the only point. The second point which you have brought in about the blockchain, etc. But I mean, since as you know that I am working on digitization with Swift India, uh, unfortunately, still the trade finance or securities market or the bank guarantee businesses, the digitization has not happened as much as it should have been. Although NASL has got the product, Swift has got the product, there is a Indian blockchain company that, but how exactly the bankers, again the audience, should make the best use of this opportunity to improve digitization end to end.
Thank you very much. You have taken this, banking industry at least 2 decades ahead. Very disruptive in the sense that it will disrupt the banking system, it will disrupt regulation, and possibly may contribute to financial instability. This metaverse world will contribute to financial instability in a big way. When this innovation will create regulatory problem, probably they will come to regulate it. Till such time, they are also not very sure what kind of regulation is required.
And since also it requires the financial conversion into some fungible tokens, so my only suggestion to this would be that in case if CBDC can be integrated in the digital ledger technology, because CBDC itself is going to be, will have to be part of that digital, as long as the digital contractual obligation does not really get fueled by the financial implications. Until then, it is going to cause again problems. So only suggestive would be, or only solution to your problem would be that with regard to this setup within India, I think CBDC integration is the foremost thing to fuel this entire conversation and transaction to go through.
Good afternoon, sir.
Please.
Very informative session. Huh? Sir, I just wanted to know about this NFTs, this virtual collateral, how it works, and when we are talking about this, some fungible this collateral, especially if it is movable asset or okay land record, we are in process of digitalization that will do.
You see, I have made the use called NFT-based banking documents, right?
Then that enforcement of security, valuation, everything will remain same. It's simply digitalization of our physical
Absolutely.
asset into. No, sir, that I understand. Sarsai and this state governments, they are already on the way. We are really on the way. Is later or sooner this will happen. But main thing is, see, whatever platform is developing this, they will have their own claims like our platform is more robust, and this valuation thereafter valuation will come out of this technological advantage only. So
Good afternoon, sir. This is Shashank Tiwari from Bank of Baroda. It was really a wonderful experience to hear the presentation from you. It was such an exciting for a new generation banker like me to have this metaverse banking concept. But my question is that, sir, knowing the situations in public sector bank at present, is it implicable? Is it it will go down to the bottom to branches to virtual RMs? Like if we have to raise our financial literacy in rural areas and all, we can plan for virtual RMs and all through metaverse banking. But uh, what hurdles we will face in implementation phase, sir? This is what
Yes.
my question is. Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir. That is that will enhance the banking at next level, sir.
Right.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, thank you.
Please
sir
go ahead.
sir, I have some input. Our Bank of Baroda has already opened 6 physical branches pan India. And no man, nothing, huh? It is totally digitally this thing, and we are using, sir told us avatars, how it works. We are already working on this, sir. Our bank has already launched this thing.
Let us remove the distinction between public sector banks and private sector banks, because we are all banking industry. And second thing, whatever is available, softwares, digital tools, products, they are all equally available to all. Regulations are same. GDP is same. Inflation is same. So nothing comes in the way for, like Arika was now telling, that a lot of headway is being made. We can definitely do whatever other banks can do. So just I was asking whether it is possible to, or do we have any such kind of centralized data system? So I think good developments are happening in technology, and it is inevitable for us to get connected. Means it is not option.
Second aspect, what I mentioned was intermediaries versus the smart contracts. So today bankers are intermediaries. Bankers have created it will automatically fructify. So no more third-party intermediation between. So bankers are going to be redundant in some time.
So that has to be used, and many of the banks are using it very well. So if I would have been aware, I would have shared the slides that what all bank has done. So the bank has to now internally use that data from the Analytics Center for Excellence. So already the things are happening, and the things are happening in all the public sector banks. Only thing, we have to be updated ourselves. So as Mr. Arvind Mohan was saying, or somebody else was saying, if I'm not wrong.
So I don't see any more questions coming. So friends, what a truly enlightening, and if you found today's discussion valuable, we warmly welcome or invite you to become a part of our community